commander, competitor, contender, or survivor? Which one of those are you going to be? I'm Brian Cain, mental performance coach, and I love to share tips and strategies, mindsets that coaches, athletes, and high performers can use to close the gap from where they are to where they want to be. And today I share a strategy from Coach Robert Saleh, the head football coach of the New York Jets. And he gave this speech during Hard Knocks on HBO. And he was talking to his team about the 4 levels of competitor. And I truly believe that you can take this concept and apply it to yourself, your team, your organization.
What are these 4 levels of competitor? You've got commanders, you've got competitors, you've got contenders, and you've got survivors. I promise you, everybody in this room falls into one of these categories.
See, there's 4 levels of competitor. In the bottom, the foundation, it's the survivors. It's the people that are just showing up to collect the paycheck. It's the teachers showing up to the school, walking in at the last minute, walking out as soon as the bell rings at the end of the day. It's the people on the team who are the last ones to practice, the first ones to leave. It's those who are just showing up and happy to be a part of it and happy to have a uniform, but they don't bring a lot to the organization. They're the people that you think about when you think if we were to have to let somebody go because of a pandemic or because of budget cuts, they'd probably be the first person that you'd want to let go. It's the person on your team that if they got sick or they got hurt, no one really noticed that they weren't there. They're simply survivors trying to do the bare minimum to get a paycheck and to stay a part of the organization or to stay a part of the team. And we got to get rid of the survivors. We got to get rid of them. As Nick Saban says, right, the head football coach at Alabama, he says high achievers don't like being around people who are mediocre, and people who are mediocre don't like being around high achievers. So survivors don't like being around contenders, competitors, and commanders, and survivors try to pull people down with them because, as you know, misery loves company. So we've got to eliminate their survivors. Well, the next level is the contenders, and the contenders are there and they show up and they perform when there's an extrinsic motivator, when there's a contract, when there's somebody who they're going against that they don't like, when there's something on the line. These people need the carrot or they need the stick. They need that external motivator to get them going. They're not intrinsically motivated, and that external motivation doesn't last forever. It's hard to find something to get pissed off about all the time. It's hard to find something to drive you all the time, so the contenders never bring home the belt. Now, the third level is where we want to try to get to. We want to be competitors. And you see, competitors are driven by one thing, an obsession with getting better. The competitor is driven to PR every day. The competitor is driven to be the best version of themselves. And they don't need a carrot. They don't need a stick. They don't need some kind of external motivator. They need somebody to probably throw the reins on them, get them to slow down. Because of that obsession, sometimes the competitor people look at and go, man, you care too much. They'll look at the competitor and go, man, you don't have any balance in your life. It's up for you to decide. Do you want to be well-rounded or do you want to be world-class? That's a decision you got to make. But if you're making the decision to be world-class, people aren't going to understand that because there's a whole mountain of average out there that's going to want to pull you down, survivors. That's going to want to look at you as weird contenders, but competitors recognize competitors. You see, the competitors make the best people look normal, and they make the normal look really, really bad. The competitor is the dude who shows up every day and doesn't care about the outcome. He just wants to get better every single day and knows the outcome will take care of itself. And then you get the commander. And as a coach, you'll be lucky if you coach a commander or two during your career. You see, the commander is the guy or the gal that shows up just like the competitor and does everything to get better that day, except for one thing, they bring people with them. See, there's legend of Kobe Bryant going to the gym to work out at 4 o'clock in the morning, but do you ever hear about him bringing people with him? That's one of the things I think that Kobe would say maybe he wished he had done. But he was such a competitor, he just couldn't get other people to get up to his level. And sometimes you're going to find that. That's part of why he was the GOAT. But the commander, the Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs, the story of Peyton Manning when he was quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, and they drafted a receiver out of Ohio State. And that receiver couldn't make it to some aspects of optional training because he was still finishing up school. What would Peyton Manning do? Peyton Manning would drive an hour and a half from Indianapolis to Columbus to run the routes with this player who was still on the college campus. He would do that twice a week, hour and a half there, hour and a half back, twice a week, 6 hours in the car because he didn't want this first round pick that they had to fall behind. You see, that's a commander. And you'll be lucky as a coach if you have one or two of those in your career. But if you're the athlete and you're watching this, you need to make sure you're not the survivor. And there's one in every room. And if you don't know who it is, maybe it's you, but there's one in every room. So let's not let it be you. Now, let's not be the contender who needs the external to get you motivated. Like, you got to bring your own juice, man. Let's be the competitor. Let's show up every day trying to be the best version of us. Now let's evolve into being a commander and bring people with us. Which level are you at? What are you going to do to keep moving forward?